Morning or afternoon. I would start with this. I mean, it's the news that everybody knows right now. It's everywhere, but just our heart goes out to Oxford community. That was it's awful. Nobody should have to deal with that. Just prayers go out to the families and the friends and everybody involved. I mean, that goes from myself to our players, the whole Lions community. It's awful. Shocked. Shocked. I mean, that's not something you want to hear or think about. And so when you hear it, it hits you like a ton of bricks, especially when you got kids, man, and you think about, whether they're young or whether they're like these, you're in high school and, they're going to school, and that's the last thing you're thinking. And it's brutal.
You do have a daughter that's in high school, so do you have, what sort of conversations do you have with her or your wife have with her after a day like yesterday?
Well, I mean, it's, to be honest with you, this got on us in a hurry. So, I just reached out to her this morning, told her have a good day, and, just want to make sure that she knows I care about her. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. We're not guaranteed anything on this earth, man. So you just live each moment like it could be your last, because you don't know. And that's kind of the reality behind it. It's awful.
Coach, too, in terms of, going into the football side of things as well, in terms of offensive play calling, how would you look at yourself and assess yourself so far within offensive play calling? Is that something that you want to continue throughout the rest of the year, just assessment of yourself within these few games?
Yeah, look, certainly I can be better, and there's things that, there's, now it's been 3 games, and all 3 of those games, there's 3 calls I wish I could have back, and, so, you learn as you go, you grow, and then, look, I'm not gonna lie, there's things about it between learning to be a head coach and a play caller that are all, it's stuff that I'm working through right now. That I can get better at. So I look at all of it, and I think about how do I prepare myself as best I can, and how do I improve on what I've done, to help these guys.
What 3 calls are you referencing?
Well, one of them would be last week. I kind of alluded to this, but when we're on the minus 49, it's 3rd and 32. I wish, it's one thing to run it, but I hated the run that I called. That's one. But 2 is hindsight. I wish I had thrown. We'd have had something a little deeper, and if it's there, great. If not, check it down, see what you can get. Now you got a decision to make. Do you still punt it, or do you go for a field goal? I wish I had that one back. And then there was we had a play in Pittsburgh where I put the ball. I didn't like the hash that I put it on. Should have put it on the other hash, and maybe it's a better play that gets us a first down instead of, we don't get as much yardage out of it, and so it's some things like that come up, man, that you learn from how to be better.
Where was that call in that game? The hash mark one that you're referencing.
Where was the?
Yeah, what play was that?
It would have been. Well, I'll tell you what it was. It was the one we ended up throwing into Trinity, and I think we ended up getting 5 or 6 out of it. But number one, we probably should have had it out of a 2 tight end set and had it into the other hash. And I called it out of 11, and then we had it the other way. Had it into the other side. And so the combination of those 2 things, you're going to get more than a 5 or 6 yard gain, is my point. You'd like to believe that. Just things like that. And it's like,
you have so much on your plate as a head coach to add play calling responsibilities. How have you?
Let me say this, Dave, because I know where you're going. I know where all of you are going. I'm doing what I feel is best for our team right now. This is not about me. It's not about my ego, about me trying to, I'm doing what I believe I need to do right now and what I feel is best for us.
What I was going to ask was, do you have somebody that's helping you with some of those other areas because, you have more on your plate now, or is that not?
Yeah, I've got Ben Johnson is helping a lot with the pass game right now. So I've kind of moved him a little bit from, he still works with the tight ends, but I've got him working more with pass game now. so I've shifted that. So he's helped a lot. And of course, Anthony Lynn still is dealing with run game and protections, things of that nature.
You come in, you try to bring a good positive mood all the time. Obviously, looking at the record, you're still trying to get that first win. But for you, mentally, emotionally, just physically, how have you dealt with the losing? I mean, how have you got through that? Like, have you got a routine for yourself to keep yourself upbeat? Like, how do you stay the way that you stay despite all the losing that you're going through this year?
Man, you got to take the good and see the progress that's going down. You got to look at all these young guys. For me, that's what I do. I look at all the youth that we've got that is really improving and getting better. And then there again, man, just knowing the vets that we've got on this team, we got some good vets. It's a group of guys that just continues to come into work and they want to get better and they know we're this close. And so for me, that always gives me hope. And so I know that, man, the last thing you can do, and look, I've been around some good ones. Sean was always this way, man. Good, bad, ugly, it didn't matter, man. He was the same guy every day. You come into work, and I just know that you don't get anything solved by losing confidence and sulking and getting mad at people or placing blame. And so I know everything starts with me as far as all this is concerned. So I'm going to be myself. I have to be.
Sorry to go back to this topic, but Zach Line is the head coach at Oxford. Have you reached out to him?
Look, I'll be totally honest with you. It literally, Eamon had just put on the, hey, Zach Line's the head coach. And I knew he was up here totally just, and so I found out before the walkthrough. I didn't even realize that. So, no, that'd be the first thing I do when I leave here is give him a call. I did not even put two and two together.
Young teams that are struggling like this, we often hear the phrase "learn to win." Mm-hmm. What does that actually mean, and what does it look like when you maybe get over that hump?
Yeah, I think Parcells used to always say it's the way to. There's a demonstrated ability to win. How do you do that? Well, it's small battles, but man, ultimately you got to be able to do it in the game. You got to find a way to make that play when it's crunch time that puts you right over the edge. And until you do that, it's really hard to do it until it shows up in a game. And so you practice and you keep preaching those things and you work at it, but ultimately we got to prove that we can do it in a game. And once that happens, then you feel like, all right, now you kind of got over that hump, and now you understand what it takes. You know what we have to do, and you understand that you can say it all you want, but until we realize it's that one less mistake that gets us, or that one more play more than the opponent. And so I just think, we've been in a lot of these, and we got to keep harping on all those things that we have to do to win this game.
We know all the experience the staff has as players, but does that also extend to the coaching staff? Is it different learning how to win as a coach versus knowing how to win as a player?
Oh yeah, I mean, look, there's so many things that go into play with everything. I mean, from what you're trying to do schematically and build a game plan and then put your guys in the best position to have success, and then don't forget that they're allowed to do things differently on defense than what they show all the time, right? And that's part of the game. That's part of the things that we do, and so yeah, look, there's all that, and look, it's not an excuse, but it's also, as a staff, we're all learning how to work with each other, and there again, just how do we complement each other the right way? Everybody's got strengths, and everybody's got things that aren't quite their strengths, and how do we balance those things and use what everybody does well and help us? No different than the players, and so look, that's something that we're evolving with and working on and trying to get better.
Yeah, Coach, your run game's been pretty good too the last three or four games. Anything new on Swift, and how do you divide up the carries, assuming he's not going to be? In other words, who do you lean on to pick up the slack? There's not another Swift out there, but how do you go?
Yeah, well, look, you bring up a good point. It's no different than any other injury. When you lose a guy who's been very productive for you, somebody's got to pick up the slack. And the good news is we got Jamal back. We got him back, and so this will be his third week to get back and get in the flow here a little bit, and So certainly we're going to lean on Jamal quite a bit. But look, we're going to use Godwin. We're going to use Jefferson. I mean, that's part of the plan. They're all going to be able to play, and it's a little bit by committee. But I think you're going to see a lot of Jamal Williams.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Okay.